Did you know that just minutes of sunlight a day could dramatically reduce your risk of heart attack? What's more, the latest science reveals it's not only about vitamin D. Most people miss out on the heart-protecting benefits because they've been told to avoid the sun. But with a few simple strategies we'll cover today, you can harness sunlight to reduce heart attack risk without increasing skin cancer risk. We'll also explore sun exposure tips to help you sleep better, a vital blood pressure marker that improved by 25% with optimal sun, plus why you should be cautious with vitamin supplementation. First up, let's talk about a fascinating aspect of sunlight that you might not have heard before: the exclusion zone. This incredible phenomenon was discovered by Dr. Gerald Pollack, a researcher at the University of Washington. In simple terms, the exclusion zone is a special layer of water that forms near the lining of your blood vessels. The exclusion zone water has unique properties that make it essential for maintaining healthy blood flow and preventing heart disease. Picture a thin, gel-like layer of water that coats the inside of your blood vessels, acting like a protective buffer. The exclusion zone prevents harmful substances from sticking to the walls of blood vessels, preventing plaque buildup and maintaining healthy blood flow. But here's where it gets really interesting. Sunlight exposure can actually increase the size and effectiveness of the exclusion zone. In fact, research has shown that the exclusion zone can expand by up to 4 times its original size when light enters through the skin. This is a huge deal for preventing clogged arteries and heart attack. But the benefits of the exclusion zone don't stop there. It also plays a key role in the electrical health of your heart. You might be surprised to learn that your heart and blood vessels are more than just a mechanical pump and network of tubes. In fact, they function as a complex electrical system that relies on the proper flow of charged particles to keep things running smoothly. The exclusion zone water carries a negative charge, while the water in the center of the blood vessel is positively charged. This separation of charges creates a battery-like effect that helps to power the flow of blood throughout your body. That's right, your veins don't just passively carry blood, they actively move blood based on positive and negative electrical charges. Sunlight plays a crucial role in maintaining this electrical system. As we discussed, when you expose your skin to sunlight, it expands the exclusion zone, but it also increases the electrical charge, making blood flow easier. So, as you can see, heart and blood vessels work together in an intricate dance, guided by electrical charges, the properties of water, and the structural features of the blood vessels. Similarly, this process charges your body with another super antioxidant, which we'll discuss next. But first, it's important to be clear. You want to avoid sunburn at all costs. Start with shorter periods of exposure and gradually increase as your skin adapts to avoid burning. For most people, that will mean around 10 to 30 minutes of unprotected sun exposure on as much of your skin as possible. Go bare-chested if you can, to make it easier for the light to reach your vital cardiovascular blood vessels. And remember, consistency is key. Aim for regular moderate sun exposure. No matter what, you want to avoid burning, as burning is going to increase the risk for skin cancer. Next, sunlight improves sleep, and the same hormonal process further protects your heart. You might be familiar with melatonin as the sleep hormone that regulates your body's internal clock. But did you know that melatonin also plays a crucial role in maintaining a healthy heart? There are a few tips to getting this right, which we'll cover in a moment. When sunlight enters your eyes, it reaches the pineal gland, a small structure located in the brain. The pineal gland is responsible for producing melatonin, and it relies on the light-dark cycle to know when to release this important hormone. During the day, sunlight suppresses melatonin production, helping you stay alert and awake. As the sun sets and darkness falls, your pineal gland begins to release melatonin, signaling to your body that it's time to wind down and prepare for sleep. But melatonin also helps protect your heart and blood vessels. In fact, melatonin stands out as a uniquely important antioxidant. It combats peroxynitrite, a particularly nasty toxic compound that many other antioxidants struggle to deal with. Melatonin also helps regulate blood pressure, with one study finding a 25% improvement in the daily rhythm of diastolic blood pressure when melatonin deficiency was corrected. Other research has found that people with lower melatonin levels are at a significantly higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease. Interestingly, melatonin sacrifices itself after neutralizing harmful compounds. This is crucial because some antioxidants become mildly toxic after they've done their job, but melatonin's ability to safely neutralize damaging agents without leaving behind any detrimental byproducts avoids the damaging chain reactions that free radicals can cause. It has a similar beneficial effect on cholesterol, which we'll discuss next. But before we get to that, melatonin actually does even more than just helping you sleep and acting as an antioxidant. It also boosts your body's own defense systems. It does this by enhancing the activity of protective enzymes in our cells, like training our body soldiers to become stronger and more effective. So, how can you ensure that your body is producing enough melatonin? Make sure you're getting sunlight exposure during the day. Then minimize artificial light at night. Get outside as soon as you can after waking up, even if it's a cloudy day. The light outside is going to send the right signals to your pineal gland, setting your body's circadian rhythm. On the other hand, exposure to artificial light at night can disrupt melatonin release. Essentially, your brain thinks it's still daytime, so it won't release melatonin. This is especially true for blue light emitted by electrical devices like smartphones, tablets, and computers. So limit your exposure to artificial light in the evening and create a relaxing dark sleep environment that promotes restful sleep. For our ultimate sleep checklist, watch our video on 7 proven tips to beat heart disease. We'll leave a link to that in the description box. Next, cholesterol. Cholesterol gets a bad rap, especially LDL cholesterol. But it's essential to understand that cholesterol itself is not inherently bad. In fact, cholesterol is a crucial component of your body, acting as a building block for cells and hormones, as well as playing a vital role in nerve function, brain health, skin, and arteries. The key thing is cholesterol quality and function. When LDL cholesterol becomes damaged, also known as oxidation, it causes chaos throughout the body, damaging artery walls, trigger inflammation, and creating plaque buildup in arteries. In modern society, the major culprits for damaged cholesterol are sugar, processed foods, unstable polyunsaturated oils, pollution, and smoking, as well as things like stress and lack of exercise. Now, where does sunlight come into play? Research suggests that sunlight exposure can improve the function and quality of cholesterol. It does this by increasing the production of vitamin D3 sulfate, a form of vitamin D that is more easily transported throughout the body than vitamin D in food or supplements. Vitamin D3 sulfate. This sulfated form of vitamin D has been shown to support and nurture healthy cholesterol, making it more resilient against oxidative damage. When we think about the benefits of sunlight, vitamin D is often the first thing that comes to mind, and for good reason. Vitamin D is incredibly important, and sun exposure is the best source. Yet, according to the journal Nutritional Epidemiology, an estimated 15% of the global population is deficient. Vitamin D is crucial for calcium absorption in the gut. Without adequate vitamin D, even if you're consuming enough calcium, your body won't be able to absorb it effectively. If this happens, calcium builds up in artery walls, increasing the risk of clogging arteries and heart attack. At the same time, bones and teeth can become weak because calcium can't get to them, increasing the risk for osteoporosis. In fact, a 2011 study found that people with low levels of vitamin D had a 70% higher risk of hip fractures. Other studies show that vitamin D deficiency significantly increases the risk for peripheral artery disease. When narrowed arteries reduce blood flow to the legs, this can result in pain and numbness in the legs, impeding the ability to walk, and in serious cases can require amputation. Vitamin D also has important immunity and anti-inflammatory effects that provide further protection for the heart and blood vessels, as well as protecting against pneumonia and flu. However, before you reach that bottle of vitamin D supplements, it's important to understand that getting your vitamin D from sunlight is far superior to taking a pill. According to Johns Hopkins research, for people who are deficient in vitamin D, supplementation can make a positive difference. However, beyond a certain level, artificial vitamin D supplementation can cause harm. The Johns Hopkins study looked at 15,000 participants and found that vitamin D supplementation beyond 21 nanograms per milliliter increased C-reactive protein levels, indicating inflammation, which is associated with stiffening of blood vessels and an increased risk of heart disease. Thus, vitamin D supplementation may be useful in some cases, but should only ever be taken under expert medical guidance. That said, you're far better getting it from the sun, not only because natural D3 sulfate offers broader protection, but because your body will only produce as much as it needs. Additionally, some research indicates that when vitamin D3 sulfate from the sun is exposed to compounds in leafy greens, it aids in regenerating coenzyme Q10, a crucial antioxidant for heart health that declines with age. So eat your salad, then enjoy some time in the sun afterwards. Next, sunlight is key to mitochondrial function, one of the most important processes in your body. Mitochondria are often referred to as the powerhouses of cells. They convert glucose from the blood you eat into ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, the form of energy that your body can actually burn. Every cell in your body, including those in your heart and blood vessels, rely on healthy mitochondrial function to perform their essential tasks. And again, sunlight exposure can play a crucial role in stimulating the growth of new mitochondria. Furthermore, healthy mitochondria have a significant link to diabetes. And for this very reason, a number of studies have shown reduced risk of type 2 diabetes with regular sunlight exposure. By promoting healthy mitochondrial function, sunlight ensures that cells can efficiently use glucose for energy, reducing the risk of high blood sugar and insulin resistance. So, as you can see, getting enough sun exposure is actually one of the best steps you can take to keep your body functioning well. Next, make sure you're eating all the right foods in our top 7 foods to clean arteries and prevent heart attack. We'll leave a link to that in the description box, or click the image on screen. If you found this useful, click the like button and click subscribe for more heart healthy videos as we release them.